Joining us now on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline is Utah Valley head basketball coach Mark Pope in his fourth season as the head man for the Wolverines. Coach, it is always a pleasure to speak with you on this program. How are you?
Gentlemen, so happy to be with you. What is the deal with Jeremy? He doesn't work anymore? He just shut it down?
Well, sometimes even the greats need a break, right, Coach?
Jerem does like 500 million things, so, you know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to be with you guys.
We're cutting him some slack. Coach, we saw a picture of you and your former Kentucky coach, Rick Pitino, surface a few days ago. Obviously, you won a national championship there. How often do you get opportunities like that to reconnect with your former coaches?
I take advantage of them as often as I can because I love these guys, man. I love them so much. I mean, Coach Pitino in particular is a guy that changed my time with him, changed me as a human being, right? And so I was so excited to get to spend a little bit of time with him when he was out here in town, and I love him dearly, and he got to spend some time with my family, which was really fun, and come meet the team. So it was a great day.
That's really, really, really cool. I had the same experience with Coach Mendenhall after I was done playing. I was always hitting him up about every little and big thing. Like, Coach, I just got this new job offer. What should I do? How much of that conversation, or maybe you going and seeking that type of advice from former coaches have you had, recently?
I actually do it a lot. So kind of throughout the course of a season, in the off season, touching base. Job situations, touching base. This athletics world is pretty small, and the coaching world is even smaller, and so there's not a lot of people to go to get advice where they're only concerned with your best interest. And so I have a circle of coaches that I trust, that I've known for a long time, that I think can give me like a clean look at what we're dealing with at any point during the course of the season. I actually have a coach in our league, Rod Barnes at Cal State Bakersfield, who I've known forever. Was coaching at Ole Miss when I was a player at Kentucky, and I actually had an issue on my team this off season, and I actually reached out to Coach Barnes and had a conversation with him about it. We've become such good friends, and I have so much trust for him. Usually you're so eager to keep everything in-house because you're private and you're protecting your guys and you're protective of your program. And so having people like that out there that you can get advice from and kind of gain some wisdom from is really important.
Mark Pope, the head coach at Utah Valley University, on the basketball court with us on BYU Sports Nation. Speaking of talking with former coaches, have you sought some advice from Dave Rose this week?
Always. More please. Just like, Coach, take it easy on us. Take it easy on us. I dragged Coach out to lunch a couple weeks ago, and we don't get to do it that often, but maybe once or twice a year. But it's always such a highlight for me. He is, I tell everybody that he's my number one mentor, and he's taught me so much and given me so much opportunity, and is, come on, he's one of the greatest coaches in the game, and so I steal as much time from him as I'm allowed.
Your team obviously matches up with BYU in the Cougars' home opener on Friday night, tomorrow. Huge game, always fun. You've seen film on BYU against number 7 Nevada from Tuesday night. What are your impressions of the Cougars thus far?
Man, they're so good. They're so good. You think about it, they're on the road, home opener for Nevada, the number 7 ranked team in the country with the preseason All-Americans all around and incredibly deep squad. And BYU just didn't shoot it great, and Yoli plays less than 20 minutes, maybe it seemed like, and still, they're within a shot of winning the game. I mean, they're really good. The coach has them playing really physical, really, really fast, really sharing the ball, really, really just physical on the glass. defensively sound. This BYU team is going to have a really special season. I'm excited for them. I hope their special season doesn't start until Saturday, but they're going to have a really special season.
Coach, obviously this is a rivalry game. There's a little bit of history that's involved with it, but I'm always curious about in-state rivalry games and the outcome of them and how they affect recruiting. And so how do you think that this game, how you guys play, either outcomes, et cetera, affects your in-state recruiting abilities when you're going head-to-head with BYU?
Well, I have a plan, actually a master plan.
Nice.
And my deal is if we can go, we're hoping to extend this contract. I think the game is so fun, right? It's such a great game. We're so close. It's unique. I mean, there's not that many places where you have universities that are separated by 3 or 4 miles, right? Mm-hmm. And so that makes this really special. My plan is that we're going to extend this contract out for the foreseeable future. And if we could win the next 10 straight games, there's a chance I could actually have a real conversation with a recruit in the state of Utah. Anything short of that, and we really have no chance. I mean, we're not really competing with BYU for recruits in the state because rightfully so. I mean, if you grew up in this state, and you kind of grew up through the Jim Fredette years and the Dave Rose tenure, you're not going to have a lot of interest in Mark Pope and UVU. That's just the way it is. But these in-state games, though, are so beautiful because they're really the interesting thing about the non-conference. I think fans are interested. I think players dig it. I think as coaches, we sweat it out a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's good for our teams because we get to take a shot at having some extra intensity in the non-conference that maybe is not there, normally until you get to the grind of the regular season, right? And so it's a way to prepare for that. I love them. I think they're great. We're so grateful for BYU for letting us continue this deal, and it's been awesome.
Coach, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate that answer more than you know. When Spencer and I were discussing the answer or the question, I kind of had to. I was like, I want to ask him, I want to ask him this way, but I don't want to make it come across like BYU has more prestige or whatever the case. And so for you to just answer like that and just be honest, man, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. But when it comes down to your team and just some of your goals and the big picture and the vision. How do you see your team playing out this year?
Well, we're so proud of the growth of our program. So we're the second fastest growing basketball program in the country. When we took this job 3 years ago, we were the 321st ranked team in America, which is not good at all. Wow. And last year we finished 92nd, 83rd in KenPom, and so we're actually the second fastest growing program behind Nevada. They went from 270 to 25 in that 3-year span. And so we're really proud of what we're doing. We're excited about it. We're working really hard, and so we've done it a lot by just trying to get old and stay old. And so my team this year is really new. For me, I only have 4 players on the team that I've ever coached in a game. But we're talented, and so we're going to be good this year, and we'll have this whole crew back the following year. And so this 2-year stretch, I think we have a chance to have the best team we've ever had by far, and kind of take that next step, right? And so we're super excited about it. We're going to have some nights early in this season where we look great, and we're like, this is really easy. And then we're going to have some nights where we're like, man, this is a disaster. And so it's just the way you grow a new team. And the most important thing for us is that we try and find ways to learn and get better every single day. And by the end of the season, I think we have a chance to be pretty special.
Let's talk about game number 2 for both your team and the Cougars tomorrow night in the Marriott Center. What type of gameplay and flow do you expect in this year's version of the Wolverines and Cougars?
I expect it to be really fast. I think it's going to be really fast. watching film on the Cougs, I mean, they are racing down the floor transition offense. It's one of the best things they do. They're really, really shooting the ball, quick trigger, which is, I think, hugely advantageous for them. And then and at the same time, their defense is really stingy and really solid, and they are just crushing the glass. And this Yoli Childs is a freak. I mean, he is 100% a freak. He's so good. You just watch him, and you're just like, I don't know if there's anything he can't do. He's physically he's so interesting because his wingspan is so long, and he's so vertically gifted and quick off the floor. He makes every kind of tough, awkward, off-balance floater and runner. He makes all those shots that are so difficult. And now, for example, as you guys saw in the Westminster game, not only did he bang 2 threes in the first half, but they were quick release threes. Like they're, you have to be there on the catch to even have a chance to challenge him. So he, to build a team around him is a pretty good place to start. And I've been really impressed with what I've seen from them so far.
I know you've mentioned a lot about Yoli Childs. What's the plan to slow down McKay Cannon this time around, Coach?
Yeah. Hey, I love this McKay Cannon. He's a tough kid, man. He is a tough kid. And he from a distance, he seems like he's 100% about the name on the front of the jersey and could care less about anything individual and just does whatever is necessary. Doesn't matter if he plays 2 minutes or 30 minutes. And he's a prototypical Coach Rose winner, right? And so he's a terrific player, and he's going to be an important part of what they do this year.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Always, like I said, it is a pleasure to have you on this program, and we look forward to having you in the Marriott Center tomorrow night for what we expect to be entertaining game. And we'll talk to you then.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks.
You too. Mark Pope on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future.